What's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Glad everyone can make it. I'm going to talk about Chris Dorner today. In case some of you all... Ow, that was loud. In case some of you all don't know who Chris Dorner is. We're going to check out a man by the name of Chris Dorner. And we're going to talk about some other news and stuff. And then I guess we'll play some Warzone. What's up, Kuma? How you feeling? Ooh. Alright, there's some people trickling in. I like to see it. I'm already geeking over Chris Dorner. I am. That shit's lolsy. It's premium lols. I'm like trying to look up the I'm trying to find something kind of recent about him, but all the stuff is kind of old. There's an NPR article about him. I think I'll read. Yo, thanks for the like, Miles. I appreciate you, bruh. I just heard my phone buzz, but I don't know where it is on the table. Or my desk, rather. Whatever, I shouldn't be looking at my phone anyway. It's probably not important. So, got 4 viewers, that's what's up. You think they want that story buried? Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking there's like a lot of people who recently talked about it though. Oh, here's a pretty recent, as in like from last year. I guess this is news stuff. What's up, Jenna? What's up, Algal, my pal? Yo, thanks for the stars, Sami. I appreciate you. Alright, so without further ado, I think we'll get on with it. There's some, I see a few people in here. Thanks for coming, y'all. Thanks for checking me out. We're gonna talk about Chris Dorner. So, Chris Dorner. Hang on, let me set this up for you all. I'm gonna read this article first, and then we'll watch some. Actually, what order should I do it in? We'll sandwich because I got 2 videos. We'll make a nice Chris Dorner news coverage sandwich. So, I'm gonna put on this one first. This seems like it'd be decent to put on first. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Most of the people we spoke with here say they were shocked that Christopher Dorner was even still on the mountain. They had hoped he was long gone. But his shootout with authorities here wreaked havoc all around this resort community, starting with 800 kids who spent a frightening day on lockdown at Big Bear High School.
Damn, Big Bear.
We heard Mr. Gelber, the principal, announce we're under lockdown. This is not a drill.
Hold on, wait a minute, stop. Imagine being at this high school. You're at this high school and you hear that Black Punisher is shooting it out with the police in the near vicinity, so you have to be on lockdown because this fucking champion of courage is deciding to shoot it out with the local fuzz. Intense.
Teacher, Miss Barr, she told everybody to get down on the floor, turn the lights off, lock the door. And it was just like straight up panic mode.
The students hunkered down and watched events unfold on the
Holy
internet.
shit, look at these kids.
It was shocking. I thought he was gone out of Big Bear. And then once he came over the intercom,
His jewelry is hard, yo.
Wow, this is surprising. So
it's Hot Topic 2013, ear
Worried
jewelry.
parents fought the urge to get in their cars and go pick up their kids.
I mean, I understand protocol is not race to go get your kid, but very scary still.
You wanted to go race and get him?
Yes. Oh, yes.
You hear about this going down in like LA and stuff like that, and it's just like, Big Bear, really?
This group of teens from the New Vocational Academy, a private school in Pomona, are here on an overnight trip.
Damn,
They hid out in their cabin while
bites.
Christopher Dorner battled it out with authorities.
There's no TV reception at the cabin we're at. So the only way we knew is people kept calling us worried about their children.
It was kind of nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody else is asleep and I'm the only one awake. Oh my gosh, like anything could happen.
Fortunately, none of the kids were hurt, and all the schools in the Bear Valley Unified School District will be open Wednesday. In Big Bear, Angie Crouch, NBC4 News.
So that was pretty intense. That's pretty funny. Let's talk about your friend, my friend, our friend, Christopher Dorner. And here's a piece on MBR. Oh, it's you can listen to it. Oh, it's an interview.
I'm Michelle Martin, and
I don't know if I get in trouble for playing this though. I don't know if we can listen to this. Hold on, let me see if I can find something else about Chrissy Dorner. Mr. Dorner. Hold on, here's his manifesto. Yo, what's up, Joe Snyder? This is full fucking manifesto. It's long as shit. I don't know if I'm gonna read that. Oh, the editor's note. This is updated June 12th, 2020. Okay, so this is from last year, so I'll read this. This is, if you want to check this out, it's on LA-ist, I guess is how you pronounce it. I hate that so much. But I guess it's the one of the media links to his full manifesto. I have to wonder if it's been edited in any way because I'm assuming this is like local news or like mainstream media somehow or whatever. But yeah. This is the editor's note on their page that apparently has their manifesto listed. So, as protests against police brutality and systemic racism continue to unfold across the nation, we have noticed interest in this page steadily increasing in recent weeks. Christopher Dorner is the former Los Angeles police officer who murdered 4 people and prompted a massive days-long manhunt that ended when he shot himself to death in a cabin in the city. Okay, so that's wrong. That's also wrong. I'm going to get to that in a second, though. After engaging in a fierce firefight with law enforcement officers, Dorner had been fired after an LAPD review board found he had falsely accused his training officer of excessive force. Dorner held that his termination was retaliation from an endemically racist police department and his rampage was an attempt to clear his name. For an in-depth look at the entire episode, we recommend this lengthy Los Angeles Times investigation. Yeah, I can't say I'd recommend that. But anyway, Dorner has been both vilified and lionized. The fact remains that he killed 4 people because he felt personally aggrieved. The fact also remains that his case prompted soul searching within the department, and a report issued months later found widespread concern within the LAPD that the internal disciplinary process was inconsistent and discriminated based on gender, race, and rank. Imagine that. The police response to Dorner's attacks also raised concerns about the reckless use of deadly force. At one point during the hunt for Dorner, 8 LAPD officers shot up a pickup truck from behind in Torrance, injuring the mother and daughter inside who were delivering newspaper. Yeah. The officers were not charged, although the city quickly settled a lawsuit filed by the 2 women for $4.2 million. So I want to look at that in a second. So we're going to check that out. At almost the same time, 2 Torrance cops rammed a pickup truck driven by another civilian, with one of the officers opening fire on the driver. The driver was not hit, but he was injured in the crash. The officer who opened fire was not charged. We're going to also check that out. Our country is in the midst of a painful reckoning in the wake of the George Floyd killing. For our part, LAist is committed to exposing systemic racism in all its forms. To do so requires open dialogue about people's experiences. As part of that effort, we recently launched Race in LA, a project that lets Angelinos tell their own stories about how race has affected their lives. You can read samples from the project here. I'm not going to read that. You can read the original story along with Dorner's manifesto in its entirety below. The manifesto is pretty wild. It goes all over the place. This dude was it's not like you get the idea, but it's not very coherent. You could definitely tell it was written by someone that was like very rushed in what they were doing. So, police this morning have launched a massive manhunt. This is February 7th, 2013. So this happened in 2013. Prior to the shootings, Dorner composed a manifesto detailing who he planned to kill and why. Here it is in full. But I'm not going to read the manifesto. I'm interested in the fact that, see, look at this truck. I don't know if I can't blow that picture up. Yeah, I can. Okay. So, check that out, right? The police did that to this truck. He was so fucked up from the shit he saw happen in the department. Instead of giving him mental health care, they fucking fired him. He was a military officer. He was like special forces in the Navy, was it? I think. So I'm sure not even just the police department, the fucked up shit that he saw as a result of American imperialism, both foreign and domestic, I'm sure fucking, whew. I mean, he did what he did. So prosecutors have declined to file charges against the 8 Los Angeles police officers who mistakenly shot up a pickup truck carrying 2 civilians during the manhunt for fugitive ex-cop Christopher Dorner, with one of the women's side being hit by 2 bullets. So one of the women got shot twice. So she's been shot. So her life is forever changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no coming back from that. The police just did that shit, right? They just did that shit. Because that's how the police do. Shot up is an understatement by the looks of that truck. Yeah, I mean, they Swiss cheese the truck. There was an article I read like when this first happened, but I think they actually tried to count the rounds, and it was basically like all 8 of these police officers just mag dumped. You know what I mean? And if I'm being conservative and assuming that none of these police officers had like fucking AR-15s or MP5s or any of this shit like that like some of these police departments have, if I'm assuming they just had like Glock 40s with like 17 rounds, that's still 8 people firing like 20 rounds. You know what I mean? That's like 100 something rounds, at least 100. Like just I'm counting, I think, just like at least like 50 fucking bullet holes just in the angle of this truck that we can see, because I'm sure there's mad bullet holes in the sides and shit. Like, it's 8 people all fucking firing at this. Unless, I'm not saying it's like a Mexican standoff type shit where it's like a circle of people shooting at each other, but like they probably had a pretty decent cone of fire around that truck. And look at that. See all those shots all in the fucking they're trying to hit him in the head. That's probably why they survived, honestly, is because they were aiming for zany brainies. So you just duck under there, you get shot a couple of times in your legs or your chest or whatever, and then hopefully you live. Because you have a chance if it's like 9mm, hit you because it has to travel through the car. It's lost a lot of its energy, kinetic energy. You know what I mean? Hits you, gets stuck in you probably, which is gonna suck. But as long as you don't get zany brainied, yeah, you got a chance. But it's the police, so that's how you know that you're gonna live, right? Is that because it's the police? They know what they're doing all the time, every time, and they exist like solely to protect the populace. So that's how they protect you, is by not killing you when they fucking riddle your truck with bullets. Attorney Glenn Jonas, who represented the 2 women in 2013 when they filed a civil lawsuit against the city, told KPCC that the letter released by the DA was insufficient. What I do want to know is who took that first shot and why, said Jonas. He said he takes issue with the fact that statements from the officers were redacted. Wow, so they didn't even let him see what the police officers said about it. So that's how you know it's fucked up. Those cops were like, it looked like his car, so we just started dumping. So anyway, I started blasting. That's what the police were like. It's like, I don't even know if it even remotely looked like the truck that he was driving. Yeah, they clock in and cease to be humans, completely devoid of prejudice or error. What's up, Grindhead? Hell yeah. Yeah, this shit was nuts, wasn't it? And here's the cop that I guess when they were shooting at that other innocent person that had absolutely nothing to do with the Chris Dorner situation, aside from accidentally happening to drive a truck that looks similar to his. A Torrance police officer who shot at a pickup during the search last year for ex-LAPD officer Christopher Dorner will not face criminal charges. Yeah, absolutely agree, Grindhead Jim. Absolutely agree. Like, memes aside, you probably shouldn't kill innocent people. It's probably not something you should do. It's not something I say I can condone or recommend. But you know, this is here we do memes. This is the meme channel. I specialize in meme and meme adjacent news. Reasonable mistake of fact. So they were like, yeah, we're sorry that the police dumped the mag at your car, but your car looked like the car the other dude was driving, so thanks, bye. David Perdue, 39, was headed to a friend's house around 5 a.m. and then to the beach for an early morning surf session. He happened to drive through a neighborhood patrolled by 4 Torrance police officers assigned to guard the home of a Los Angeles Police Department captain. At nearly the same time that morning, a team of LAPD officers had mistakenly opened fire. So that happened at the same time. When they dumped the mag on those 2 ladies in the truck, they also shot at this dude driving a similarly colored truck. It was not far from where the Torrance police officers were stationed. LAPD somehow thought that Black Lives Splatter was an okay SOP to employ. Oh yeah, ask Rodney King about that one. And you know what's crazy? That's part of the reason why Christopher Dorner did this shit, is because all the LAPD officers involved in the Rodney King beating got promotions. Hold on, let me see if I can find that in his manifesto. Here we go. First mention of Rodney King. The department has not changed since the Rampart and Rodney King days. It has gotten worse. The consent decree should never have been lifted. The only thing that has evolved from the consent decree is those officers involved in the Rampart scandal and Rodney King incidents have since promoted to supervisor, commanders, command staff, and executive positions. Yeah, this shit's nuts. Yeah, I don't remember the Rodney King beating because that happened I was probably like 2 or 3 at the time, so obviously I wouldn't have paid attention to something like that. But I was definitely alive when that shit happened. So that's cool. Let's check this out. This is
Tonight
wild.
We're learning stunning information about the night former police officer Christopher Dorner went on that deadly crime spree and the connection to Chief Beck's own family.
NBC4's Patrick Healy has been working with the NBC News investigative unit.
I'm also going to talk about what actually happened to Chris Dorner too, because the idea that he shot himself is like,
Chuck and Carolyn, we learned a lot during our session with the chief. For one thing, Christopher Dorner was gathering intel on individuals he was
I'll say this.
Killing, including
he didn't shoot himself. The police actually caught him. I'll say that much before I go into it.
It's just one of those times in your life when you don't have time for emotion.
LAPD Chief Charlie Beck sitting down with us one-on-one, opening up more than ever before on the unprecedented rampage of fired officer Christopher Dorner.
Somebody that had no bottom to what he would do.
Chief Beck sharing his sadness over the lives lost.
He was targeting law enforcement officers' families.
Chief Beck revealing to us for the first time that Dorner was taking specific steps to target additional victims, including a retired deputy chief named George Beck.
Damn, my man seriously waged a war on the LAPD.
In general, he knew about my dad's dog, and had made plans to.
He was ready to clap this man's father's dog. That's how deep in the game he was. Jesus fucking Christ!
Your stomach just falls out because what if that had happened?
The chief's 3 grown children work in law enforcement, as did his wife. The night Dorner's intent became known, Chief Beck included his father in the arrangements to protect potential Dorner targets.
One of my children was working, and I called him. I said, get to your grandfather's house and stay with him until I get other people there.
Chief Beck told us the investigative task force learned
Damn.
had also gathered personal information about the family of Captain Phil Tingarides.
Imagine your dad's an LAPD officer, you're living high on the hog, you got a nice ass house, your father's cashing in hella fucking overtime on a taxpayer dime, and all of a sudden some big burly black man shows up at your grandpa's house with an AR-15 and sprays your dog.
None of this was in Dorner's infamous online manifesto, but discovered, the chief told us, in other Dorner documents found by the investigative task force.
It's not speculative information. It's very direct.
Earlier today, Chief Beck took his father to lunch to celebrate his 90th birthday, 21 months after the Dorner horror.
He is pretty stoic. He downplays it, but he knows what happened.
The chief's dad is quite a...
Damn, that's wild. You remember the Rodney King video? The media focused on the video truck driver getting hit with a brick. Oh yeah, for sure. It's just like, it's like Andy No Shit. You know what I mean? Where he's got to play that he's gonna pretend like he got hit with concrete milkshakes, and you know, focus on that video of that one Nazi getting punched in the face. Show just the video of him getting punched in the face, and not the video of him like shouting the N-word at people and stuff. You know what I mean? He called out white privilege in its most sick form and was hunted down for it. He tried to do things the right way and was scorned. Yeah, I think Al Gal, my pal, was talking about that earlier. We were talking about, he, first of all, as an LAPD officer, he probably saw a lot of fucked up shit, but also like as a service member, I think he was, Chris Dorner was Special Forces, right? Or Special Forces. This is fucking Mortal Kombat. He was he like SWIC or something? Hold on, let me... Navy, yeah, I think he might have been SWIC. No, he was a Navy Reserve officer. Why was he so swole then? My man was just so swole. So swole. But yeah, just the experience of being a fucking a serviceman, you know what I mean? A black serviceman, you know what I mean? And he might have also, you know, if these abuse allegations are to be believed, it's probably a little bit unbalanced person to begin with. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know you're a veteran. Salute to you, man. The 50 caliber drummer. You know what I'm saying? That shit's lit. Manifesto. Yeah. So yeah. But hold on, I'm gonna see if anywhere actually says what happened to Christopher Dorner. Wikipedia might have it. Final Mountain. Okay. Carjacking. Police initially attempted to force Dorner out of the cabin by using tear gas and demanding over loudspeakers that he surrender. When Dorner did not respond, police used a demolition vehicle to knock down most walls of the building. They then shot pyrotechnic tear gas canisters into the cabin, which resulted in the cabin catching fire. Okay, so this has got bullshit too. So what actually happened is, needless to say, they laced the fucking building with bullets, just like they did with the truck. I feel like that's common sense. Like, that's well within the realm of reality, even if you think what I'm about to say is conspiracy theory or whatever. Like, you just saw we saw stories of the two completely unrelated vehicles with two of the women who were actually hit while they fucking weathered a hail of gunfire. You know what I'm saying? So it should not be unreasonable. It's not an unreasonable request for me to ask you that you believe that when the police first showed up to this cabin and they knew exactly where he was, they just fucking laid fucking bullets into this building, right? It probably looked not too dissimilar from that truck. But also, the police had flamethrowers. The conventional, or at least this narrative here, is that they shot the tear gas canisters. And to be in fairness, if you've never been around tear gas canisters, you don't know anything about tear gas canisters, which are first of all banned in the Geneva Convention. So that's just let that be known. But they also, like this Wikipedia piece says, they're pyrotechnic, so they give off a pretty crazy amount of heat. And the story that they tried to float was that the canister caught something in the house on fire. The house then caught fire. Christopher Dorner was, for whatever reason, in total refusal to leave a burning fucking building, like 100% of the other human beings and animals on the planet would do if the place that they were in was on fucking fire. likely because he shot himself, as was stated falsely in that other article. But the actual reality is that they fucking laced the building with bullets, probably hit him a few times, then decided to go in with flamethrowers. They lit the building on fire. They Waco'd it. And then while it was on fire, they just kind of demolished it and pissed on the ashes. So that's what happened to Chris Dorner. That's how he met his end. It's very unfortunate. Womp, womp, womp. Rest in peace. This is basically what they did. Oh yeah, you said it. I wasn't looking at chat, Grindhead, but you said it. This is basically what they did in Waco. Yeah. Oh damn! So you didn't even come up with 50 caliber drummer. You got it in the Marines. That's interesting. I never knew that about you. I thought that was like, cause it's death metal. Everybody comes up. I made up my own little like cool name or whatever. Everybody tries to make up cool names like fucking stage names, I guess. So I figured that was just and MySpace was a thing at the time when we encountered each other for the first time when we met. So I figured it was just like, yeah, that's a dope ass name. It's metal as fuck. Even Grindhead was an affectation someone gave you. That's cool. That's cool though. That's cool when you're such a grindhead that you don't even name yourself that. Other people just know, like, yeah, it's the grindhead. Like, it wasn't a nickname, but my singer in my band when we first met, way back, he booked like Hypermesis and a bunch of other like Canadian mince bands and stuff that were on tour at the time. And he was like, yeah, we're like the only mince heads in the city. And I was like, yeah, I'm a mince head. I fuck with mince heavy. Just grind. I'm just glad that the genre of grind is a thing, both in sound and politics, because it's always cool people. It's always good music. It just, grind is one of the few good things about this horrendously shitty world, because it's also the same in like every language and every culture that enjoys extreme music. You miss grind and metal shows? Me too. More so than the shows, I missed playing in a grind band with people that I cared about, and that whole experience of like traveling and meeting other people in bands and meeting other cool people. And maybe it's one of those things that's like, I like discovering music in general. You have this like halcyon view of it, where because it happened to your childhood, you have crazy nostalgia about it. But I still just genuinely miss like even the shitty parts, like having to carry gear, fucking sleeping in like the backs of vans and shit. Like I still love all of it. In Pittsburgh, you were clearly the guy, and they called you out. You took it. You kept it. 50 cal came from the Marines when they heard me blasting. That's tight, though. That's fucking tight. But let me start up this Warzone. I was gonna talk about some other news, but I don't want to. So there's that. I was going to, but I feel like I spent a long time doing the Dorner thing and the memes. You miss touring so fucking much? Yeah. I never really got to tour like that, but I did a lot of shit like in the mid-Atlantic region. Uh-oh, Grindhead. Yeah, keep in touch. And we'll see what comes out of it. I just got a new job, so but they seem pretty chill. Be interesting. Do a couple festival things. But on that note though, see, I'm an interesting character because I'm low-key like I have an interesting interplay, at least with the local like booking agencies when it comes to metal. Because so obviously I don't even know if I should get too deep into this right now. But the game is booting up. I'll go into it briefly. So like I kind of have a really shitty relationship with Deathfest. Like I fucking hate Deathfest. So like and I know that is a thing where they book tours and shit now. So I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like I'm fucking blackballed in terms of like like major venues, you know what I mean, across the country. But I accept that shit because I enjoy house shows and like doing house shows out of state more than fucking like sound stages and shit anyway. You know, metal bands across the country. I won't say I know them anymore because a lot of the bands that it's been like 10 years since I was heavy like playing music and into the scene like that. MDF shunned California for a long time. You've kind of banned them personally. Yeah, I feel that. For me, it's it's other people's shit, so I just can't get too far into it because I don't know the full details of it. Sorry, the game was booting. But just how they treat other bands, like especially other small up and coming bands, which in my opinion are going to be the bands that are going to keep the shit alive when everyone's like, don't get me wrong, there's your fucking Napalm Deaths and your Morbid Angels and so on and so forth that will always be what it is in terms of legacy. But in terms of keeping the scene alive and like a show that's happening on a fucking Tuesday night in fucking Augusta, West Virginia, you know what I'm saying? And fucking whatever bumfuck town that people are in terms of that, like that's going to be younger bands. That's going to be like up and coming bands and shit. And to piss on them because you got to give clout to the old farts that are like, no offense, you know what I mean? Like I said, in terms of legacy, it's always going to be what it is. But I never vibe with that just as a casual observer. But then on top of that, you have them booking like Destroyer 666 fucking like headlined one year, which is wild. And the fucking Pestilence played, and I listened to Pestilence. I listened to Destroyer 666 at one point in time. But like, when you're saying the N-word, like just blatantly on social media, like in public, but just like in a different language, so you think nobody's gonna call you out on it, it's something that I got to keep that same energy across the board with that, because there's already one other person that was doing that, like saying shit about black people in Spanish. That was like, I can't let this can't happen like this. So I'm not gonna treat people differently just because I like their music or whatever. You know what I mean? So, you didn't know Pestilence did that? Yeah, Patrick Mamelli. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up really quick. All right, hang on. Let me drag this over. Okay, I'll show you guys this really quick. So, earlier this week, Metal Sucks ran a story in which we reported that during a recent exchange with a Facebook follower, Pestilence's Patrick Mamelli used the phrase "Je zeg dat ik een neger ben," which, according to Facebook's in-app translator, is Dutch for "you're saying I'm a blank." Okay, never mind. Mamelli has since claimed that this is a lousy translation. Pestilence nor myself are in any way a political band. That's not a good sign. I tell you what, I'm prepared to eat my own words here. If this isn't actually what happened, if Patrick Mamelli didn't actually say the N-word, I am absolutely prepared to be like, I was wrong. I said that shit mad times. I was upset about it. I shouldn't have been because I didn't do enough research. But I gotta say, the first sentence of this apology or explanation or whatever is Pestilence nor myself are in any way a political band. That's not a good fucking sign. That's not a good fucking sign. You know, they booked Disma a couple times. Yeah, I feel that. You toured with D66 and that was the biggest reason why you left the industry. Oh yeah, understandable, Grindhead. Like, and don't feel bad. Like, I played in a band with two neo-Nazis. I can tell that story later on if people want to know about that or whatever. I've told it a bunch of times. I don't mind telling it again for people who don't already know. But yeah, my last like pure straight up death metal band, I played with two fucking neo Nazis that I ended up calling out on it and ended up beating the shit out of one of them. But so let's continue with this Patrick Mameli statement, because now I'm intrigued, because I really want to fucking I like Pestilence. I said it earlier. Pestilence, when I was in high school and shit, is one of my favorite bands easily. Pestilence is one of the first ever death metal bands I ever heard, ever listened to, ever enjoyed. Pestilence and Dismember were both the two first bands that I really, because technically I heard Cannibal Corpse first, but when I first actually heard Cannibal Corpse's music, I didn't like it, because I was into other stuff at the time, and it was too brutal. You know what I'm saying? My palate had not been acquired yet for the brutality of what Cannibal Corpse brings to the table. So I got into Dismember and Pestilence first because they're a little thrashier, you know what I mean? So they have a little bit more like, I guess you could say, classical musicality to them, where there's melody, there's riffs and shit, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready for the caveman fucking low eyebrow fucking completely mirror surface smooth brain fucking unga bunga riffs yet. I wasn't prepared for that when I first got into death metal. That directly translates to Negro? Yeah, that's wild. Consuming Impulse is legit Testimony of the Ancients too. Yeah, classic fucking records. Classic records. You toured with Acheron and Incantation. Bruh, so I got a crazy story to tell you about Acheron, because I low-key beefed with Vincent Crowley, whatever his name is. But I'll talk about that really quick after. Let me read the rest of this fucking statement. I'm not even gonna read it out loud. I'm just gonna read it really quick because it's probably not that interesting. It's probably pretty fucking goofy. If he says any meme shit though, I'll read it out loud. Exist only to create awesome music for our listeners and fans. We have many fans that know and have followed Pestilence. We have never been a political band. Pestilence exists for over 30 years now, and we have never had to deal with any accusations on being racist, supporting Nazism, or anything similar. So it seems like, in typical fucking like white guy fashion, he's more upset about being accused of being racist than anything. On being a racist, for God's sake, my soon-to-be wife is Asian. How could I be racist? This is like, when I said meme, I didn't realize it was going to be literal memes. And it's not even just the regular low-key racist white guy. How could I be racist if I have a black friend? It's straight up like, how could I be racist? My wife is Asian. Yo. Oh my God. What are these memes? We love our fans of all races, religions, convictions, and different beliefs. Being Dutch, I can tell that what I said isn't racist at all. It's simply translated incorrectly. That word has no negative association in the Netherlands as the infamous N word has in the US. That is wrong. That's fucking wrong. People in the Netherlands are definitely racist as shit. I'm gonna look up Svart Pete really quick. It's literally blackface. It is literally blackface. Oh no, oh no, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. But it's cool. That means it's not racist though, because black people are there and accept it. Oh, never mind. Yikes. Whoops. Womp womp womp. Dum 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 dum. Oh, I gotta. Whoops. Oh man. Anyway, this is nonsense of the highest order. We would not let our good name be slandered by sites like Metal Sucks that are just out there to create chaos. Oh my god. I type like blast beats? Yeah. It's not the first time I've had that. This way, a lot of bands could get banned from the US just because of false accusations and statements. We cannot let this happen. The Mino community has to need to stand up against these type of sites. Oh my god, this was bad. To Mameli's credit, Google Translate agrees that Facebook's translation is inaccurate. Okay. Svart Pete. Oh, they actually mentioned Svart Pete, Black Pete, in this. You don't have to have a degree in psychology or sociology to work out that the figure of Svart Pete and the use of words like nigger and allochtone ensure the continued internalization of ideas of superiority of white Dutch people and of inferiority and marginalization of black Dutch people. Yikes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Great move to get that Jewish embassy going. Otherwise, he would have been dead already. Oof. Oof. Pestilence shows canceled thanks to Metal Sucks and their followers. Oh, that's good. This is from 3 years ago, though. U.S. mini tour has been canceled by our U.S. promoter. Damn. Hey, you love to see it. They're playing Deathfest. I think they played Deathfest, though. Oh, I have to restart my machine. Or not my machine. I have to restart. I gotta restart Warzone before I can play. You saw Pestilence at MDF in 2010. They were horrible. They fucking were. They were really bad. And it sucked because they played my favorite fucking Pestilence song. And they fucked it up incredibly badly. Like, insanely bad. It was like Pestilence was horrible and Asphyx was horrible. Like, the guitar player was so fucking drunk the first year that Asphyx played Deathfest. It's the only thing that I can think of why it was the way that it was. Because it was just, it didn't, was the song Out of the Body? No, but that was fucking horrible too. It was Chemotherapy. They played Chemotherapy. And it was crazy because I think Dirk Verburen was the drummer at the time. Hold on, this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna Metal Archives this really quick just so I can figure it out. But oh, I almost lost my train of thought. So yeah, I got into it with the singer from Acheron because we played a show in the last metal band that I was in. You shot video of Chemotherapy as well? Right on, DC Metal Chris. I remember being so disappointed. Obviously, this was before all of the like Facebook racism and stuff, but I remember being so fucking disappointed because I wanted to see Pestilence so bad. That was one of the, because you know, there's a fucking insane amount of bands that always gets announced for Deathfest every year. And that was the one of like, you know, there's like, they book maybe like, not that they book, but like as a fan, there's like a handful of bands that are like, especially if you can't really afford tickets or whatever, you're like, okay, hopefully all these bands play the same day so I can catch them at least. I definitely want to catch these bands. And Pestilence was one of my bands for that year where I was like, fuck yes, I can't wait to see Pestilence. Whoops, oh my god. I'd never updated my... Whoops. I guess I never expected to play Modern Warfare ever again. I never updated my overlay for this game. Yeah, Grindhead Jim. I said a stream about, I said this on stream before, like, if you're from America, like, you have said the N-word before. Like, it's just a fact. If not the N-word, you've said shit about black people or whatever. It doesn't even matter what color you are, what race, or like what age, what gender you are. It's just like, anti-blackness is a fucking part of American culture. Gorguts reunion was sick. I got to meet Luke Lee. He's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. One of my favorite musicians. Like, so respected, like, on the wave that he was not like classically trained in music and stuff in Gorguts, and like once Gorguts was popping, he went to like music school to learn more, to like make his writing that much better. And that's like so fucking awesome. Even though he didn't even have to do that. If he just wrote like 6 albums that all sounded exactly like Considered Dead, I'd still love that Gorguts. I'm going to use this overlay. Sorry, folks. Give me one moment. Struggle stream. There we go. Oh. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Like, not that every person can, like, that's blah, I'm getting tongue tied. The anti-blackness is so endemic to American culture that you can participate in it without meaning to, or without even knowing it. You get what I'm saying? Where like you just say certain shit and you never realize, oh shit, this actually means this. I thought I was just saying this just as a joke or to be funny or whatever, but this is actually the connotation beneath this. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You scream bloody murder at Vince C. I didn't scream bloody murder at him. It was weird. So first of all, the show that we got booked to play with them was booked. Remember I said earlier when we were on the Patrick Mamelli conversation, about how I said earlier there was someone I knew that would say shit about black people in Spanish. This is that guy. Except when I was a little bit more, my priorities were not exactly my conviction in terms of what I accepted in business deals and music scene and all that type of shit is not where it is now, because I genuinely was like on the wave of just going along to get along. You know what I mean? Like, I know these people fucking suck, but I at least gotta be chill. Even if we're not friends, I just have to not be overtly hostile to them so that like my band, I don't fuck up the opportunity for my other bandmates. You know what I mean? Like, cause my band members, they want to go on tour. They want to fucking play Death Fest. They want to do all that cool shit too. So I'm not going to fuck it up for them because I can't just bite my tongue in certain situations. Right. So this is the guy, and he's like the black metal promoter in the area. Right. Naturally, he fucks with the sketchy shit too, but he booked the show with us and Acheron, and we fucking played this venue. And I remember seeing like the year before that, it was right after they put out the Satanic Supremacy EP, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And we talked about it, but I figured, okay, maybe it's just like edgy fucking it's just edgy imagery, you know what I mean? How like bands will put on like the Nazi, like, not necessarily like, I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, where it's like the bands will use the SS or whatever because you don't necessarily have to be into Nazi shit to do that. You know what I mean? Just that imagery is what I figured that they were trying to get across. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like Slayer, I guess Slayer would be a prime example. So the EP was called Satanic Supremacy. Oh my goodness, this is loud as shit. I'm gonna turn this down. Oh, never mind. I don't have to. It got quiet. So, I ended up reading some of the lyrics, and Vincent Crowley says the N-word, and it's not even like he like growls it or screams or whatever, like death metal shit. Like he just straight up says it. Like M-words come in every color. Hold on, I'll show you guys the lyric really quick. Because I remember, and actually I have to show you all of this so that you'll know I'm not bullshitting. So hang on. Let me drag this over. So this is the band I'm talking about. We play with this guy. What is he? Fucking playing some kind of weirdo mask now? What a fucking weirdo. So anyway, where is this? Is it? Satanic Supremacy. And so this is the cover right here. Right? So I'm like, okay. That's bizarre, but maybe they're just trying to use the scary imagery, right? So, the lyrics are like about power and might. Here it is. Yep. For N-words come in all colors. Like he just like says that. Like Vincent Crowley just says that. And this is the label that they put this shit out on. Frozen Darkness Records. There was a band on this record label called Negro Butcher. This is their logo, right? Just got some hanging men around a swastika. Your demo is called Afrocalypse. When you're lyrical, you just straight have racism. Like that's the first word in your lyrical themes. Yikes, dude. Oh, he put out a new split last year. And yo, the cover is just straight up, yo, that's so, come on now, dude. What are let's see what so these are hold up, before I read those song titles, I'll show you all these song titles that Negro Butcher put out. Afrocalypse Die Endless Song, which I forget what that means. Let me Google that really quick. Oh, it means the final solution. Nice. Okay. So Afrocalypse, Final Solution, Scorched Slave Blood, Napalm in the Ghetto, Global Extinction of the Black Species. Damn, that's a hard-ass song title. All right, so let's check out the new song titles on Total Victory from Negro Butcher. We got the classics, so we got all the old material, so no new material. So he's unoriginal and he's unoriginal. So he's got the Afrocalypse, the Final Solution, Scorched Slave Blood, Napalm in the Ghetto, and the banger Global Extinction of the Black Species. Oh, never mind. I thought these next ones were him as well, but apparently he just had his old tracks put on this new split. People in 2020 loved a fucking decade-old racist anti-black German black metal band so much that they fucking hit him up to do another split with that old-ass material. I wonder what this shit even sounds like. Can I play this on YouTube? Is it even? I'm sure it's probably got to be blamed if it even ever made it to YouTube. Yeah, it ain't on here. Oh, it is. Oh, never mind. It's just I got excited for a second. I'll show you. You see, it has yeah, I'm bugging right now. You guys want to see me play Warzone? You don't want to hear me talk shit about terrible metal bands. You can participate in the perpetuation of that bullshit. Yeah, that sucks. And that's another thing is, like, I fucking love incantation, especially like Kyle Severin era incantation. And I actually went to see Incantation with Craig Pillard in the band, which was awkward as fuck. And the interaction was so awkward when I first went to see them, and when I like was talking to him and them at the merch table compared to when I met John McEntee, because John was really fucking cool, but it was so awkward when I met Craig Pillard. And then years later, because I remember seeing his tattoo and being like, nah, if he was racist, it would be two S's. It's probably just a thing he like made or something. It's not exactly, it's Nazi adjacent, but it's not exactly Nazi shit. So there's no way he could possibly be a Nazi, because I really like him and I like his music. So you can hear me talk shit about bullshit like this all night. I feel that. I could talk shit about this all night. I do all the fucking time. I feel like this is one of those I hate black people and I'm loud and proud about it, dude, isn't it? Yeah, Kuma. And Jenna, yeah, that's like low-key why I quit metal. Like, I stopped playing metal because when I first got into metal when I was a teenager, especially because like I was saying earlier, because anti-blackness is such an ingrained part of American culture, there was a lot of internalized anti-blackness that I had, especially like the idea is that like you're a special black person, you know what I mean? You're not like other black people, you know what I mean? Like the meme, like the misogynist meme, like I'm not like other girls, like that's how you feel, like you're not like other black people, you're special because your family don't live in the hood and that kind of shit, you know what I mean? And you listen to metal, you don't listen to like rap music and whatever other weirdo fucking stereotypes you internalize, right? And that kind of shit doesn't stay with you, but the connections that you form when you have those types of ideas will stay with you, because these are people that you like and that you admire, and vice versa. And when you bond on something like music, you can just talk about music or video games or whatever, and not necessarily ever have to talk about stuff like politics or like, you know, anti-blackness specifically. You could even talk about life events like girl troubles or relationship troubles. I shouldn't say girl troubles, relationship troubles, all that kind of shit. You can have a complete life separate from ever having really any discussions about like racial issues and that kind of thing. So when I first got into metal, I would tolerate a lot of bullshit. Case in point, my last metal band, I ended up playing with two actual fucking neo-Nazis, and being around like from the people that they would bring around, and just being in a band, which was my most successful metal band at the time, coming up in the scene and like playing other festivals and shit, and having to deal with other metal bands, and basically having the worst possible thing happen to you where you meet your idols. You know what I'm saying? You get to meet some of these people that whose music you've been listening to for the last like 5, 10, 15 years, and see how shitty they are in real life. You know what I mean? It burns you out. But I will say, one of the highlights of my music career, and just one of my personal milestones, like not just even a proudest moment, but just like a happiest moment, like a moment that I'm really glad happened to me and that I'm glad I got to experience, was getting to meet Terrence Hobbs from Suffocation. Because Suffocation is probably easily like one of my top 5 death metal bands. You know what I mean? And Terrence Hobbs is just so influential to me in terms of like black people shit aside, just like a guitar player, just a death metal musician, let alone a black death metal musician. You know what I mean? Like, he really shaped me in terms of like my swagger. Cause my style of writing is more akin to like Autopsy and, like the old school, like slower, not necessarily more mellow, but just more like spooky, I guess, death metal bands. Like, I like to write a lot of music like that. My style of writing isn't as technical, but the approach when I want to write like heavy parts and brutal parts and stuff is all pure 100% Suffocation. Kyle has Nazi shit all over his basement. That doesn't, like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't surprise me, but I will say that it's like, it's almost common. Like the people that are super into World War II, like memorabilia and shit. I'll just play some solos first to get warmed up. Yeah. Oh, lividity. Yeah. The misogyny. Yeah. And that's another weird thing because like some of my favorite bands too are like I love Deranged, one of my severe torture, fucking Howitzer. There's like so many bands that just have really fucking misogynistic lyrics, but it's like I don't know. It's a weird. Thanks for oh yeah, no problem, Jenna. I'm surprised you're even still here because I didn't read the news, and now I'm talking about like something that's even somehow more nerdy and only fucking men who don't get laid are into it is fucking than video games, which is like death metal and black metal. Like I could like what I'm saying is like you usually I understand when you check out when I start playing video games, but I'm doing something that's even worse than video games now. Something that's even sweaty manly, like just sweat the sweatiest possible men. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine just a man that's he just smells like pure Cheetos, absolutely dripping in sweat. That's like when you go to a death metal show. You're standing shoulder to shoulder with like 30 of them, and then the occasional fucking one that has his neckbeard shaved, but he just has like a smoking hot girlfriend for no fucking reason.
Enemy soldier incoming. Alright, that's enough fucking about. Now we do this for real.
But yeah, that's was I got back into planning on calling all the bullshit in the press. I feel that, grindhead. That was where I was, and it was good and it was bad because on the one hand I knew I was giving up all the little milestones I thought that I had when I was like a teenager into metal or playing music or whatever. Like I'm probably never going to play Death Fest, probably never going to be invited to play the major festivals or be on Relapse Records or whatever. But at the same time, I can forge connections that are so much more meaningful, which is what I really enjoyed about music in the first place anyway. Basement shows, house shows, fucking DIY space shows, and just the DIY scene when it comes to extreme music in general was always far more superior than the commercialized money grab shit that is. Because that's the other mistake that I feel, especially like a lot of the younger generation, like younger than me, because obviously my generation made this mistake, or rather I made this mistake, was like by the time I was really getting into death metal and shit, it was pretty commercialized. Like I was buying a lot of my merch towards the end of getting in, like after the first couple of years of me being into death metal, I would get my merch straight up from Hot Topic, like at the mall. A lot of the CDs that I bought were from the mall. Like, oh fuck! Ah, you got the best of both worlds. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, I was never huge. Like, I was never in a big band like you were. Like, Cardiac Arrest is hella backed.